Hello, traders. On the left side of the screen here, we have Nasdaq. And over here, we have the ES. I'm going to zoom into today's price action. This is a 4-hour chart. I've been looking a lot at these 4-hour charts because the levels, that's a higher time frame. They're usually respected more so than the levels on a 15 or a 30. Those are also important, but these levels carry a little more weight. Usually it'll be the entire AM session, entire PM session. And so you can see your highs and lows really well that way. This is actually a low I was marking out earlier. So price action today, we can look at it this morning. We worked into this fair value gap in the pre-market. This is a fair value gap on the 4-hour. You can see it's quite a large one. And also over here on ES, we have a fair value gap to the downside when we began this push up. And we seem to be working our way back down to this, to me. On that one, as well as on this one, we seem to be working our way back down to it. Will we work into it? I'm not sure. We may not. But if I remove all those lines and we can just look at just the price action itself, we've got some relative equal highs up here. And, we're working our way lower, but then getting pushed back up when we hit lower. So we may just be looking to take out some lows like this. We may work into this fair value gap. We also have this big new week opening gap here that we could be working all the way back down to here. Who knows? I doubt it. I doubt we're going to go that low because we've been so bullish. But we may. You just never know. But for today, we had that pre-market low here. Also, we had it in the ES. Now, I was thinking short. I was looking at this, and my bias, a lot of times I develop a bias, and it ends up biting me in the butt. Because with these reversal patterns, all I should be looking at is when lows get taken. That's a low right there. It got taken. I should be looking at a reversal pattern. I should not be thinking, oh, we're going lower. When a high gets taken, I shouldn't be thinking, oh, we're going higher. I should be thinking, let's look for a reversal pattern. But oftentimes I don't do that. I think, oh, man, we're falling out of bed. We're going to keep falling, which is rarely the case. More times than not, you don't have a directional day like this. You have more days like this, where a high gets taken and a low gets taken. So we did not work down to the complete bottom of this range today. That may be indicating that we're going higher tomorrow. Maybe we trade up into this fair value gap. Maybe not. There isn't a fair value gap over here on Nasdaq like there is to the downside on ES. They both have this, so that could be a target for tomorrow. But any attempt to push into it so far has been bought back up. These lows have been taken. This low may be a target. This low may be a target. Those relative equal lows right there may be a target. Just don't know. But that's looking into the price action for tomorrow. Because of my bias today that we were going to go lower, I missed a very good opportunity. I have a Facebook group called I Trade Futures, and there is a link in the description. And I've created a chat group on there so I can talk to y'all easier than the comments of the YouTube channel. And I have one person that has engaged me in conversation on that. His name is Adam. And he pointed out today that the pre-market reversal pattern was spot on. And I was thinking short at that time and completely missed this reversal pattern. Completely. I mean, until he said it, I was like, I hadn't even looked at it. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh, wow, I really missed a good signal right there. But you can see we took out a low a higher time frame low. At that point, I shouldn't be thinking lower. I don't care what PD array you got down here. It may go lower, but I'm a reversal trader. So we took out a low. I should be looking for a reversal. Same over here. We took out these lows and those lows on ES. See all those lows? We took them all out. Major time frame lows. I should be looking for a reversal, but I wasn't. I was looking for more downside and completely missed the PD array. Now let's zoom in and let's see what this PD array looks like. Oh, we'll look at it on NQ because that's where the pretty signal was. I do believe the market just opened. Is it 5 o'clock already? It sure is, and we're opening with a gap up and moving higher. I'm going to show you my hypo for that here in just a minute. Okay, so here is this reversal pattern that Adam was telling me about. We came down and we took out those lows that I had just showed you on the 4 hour. This is our last up close candle before the run on liquidity. We made higher lows and then we started pushing towards that with copious amounts of fair value gaps. Let's put our lines back on. Okay, so this is the top of that breaker right there. Once candle body started closing above it, you were good to go long. There isn't a fair value gap right there, but if you were waiting to get in on one, it would have been hard. That's the only pullback you got after this. So a little risky just jumping in there, but there's a tiny one right there, but we're not above the breaker yet. So I'd say when these candle bodies start closing above, you could probably get in there relatively safely, put your stop below the breaker or below this fair value gap. That would be fine, or even 2 away. That would be fine. But, you know, it's pre-market. How in the world would you ever know it was going to go on a monumental run like that? We went up and we took out that high, but we left that one. That's also an indication that we have more work to do up top. So we get up here and then we start pulling back. I'm using this as a breaker despite the fact that it is not the latest swing high. It didn't take that high. So this would actually be our breaker. But I'm short off of here, expecting more downside despite the fact that we took these lows. And this is what Adam pointed out. Goes up, takes out that high, comes back down, and touches that breaker to the dadgum tick. And I missed the entire thing because I didn't even have that breaker marked out. And I'm short and holding it thinking we're going lower. We're going low, low, low. And I get smoked on the way back up. I did at least move my stop to where I made a little bit of money on it. But I was up quite a bit right here. And I think I ended up making, I don't know, $100 or so. But that's a buy right there. That is a beautiful buy. And we would have been good all the way until just before the market closed. We went up, we made a high of the day, middle of the range, came down and made an attempt to push lower, didn't make it. And that would actually be a breaker to the upside, I suppose. Yeah, I think we managed to stay above it with candle bodies. But if you didn't get in before, if you wanted to try to get in and all that chop, that would have been a breaker you could have used. That one right there. But we eventually work our way up and take out the high. And then we put up the reversal pattern. The one on the ES looks prettier than this because it was working off of that fair value gap high, or fair value gap low rather. The ES actually looks a little bit better here. See how we wick into it? And then we fair value gap down, another little one there, pull all the way back to opening range high and wick right back into the breaker right there. And then fall out a bit, all the way down to these lows. So in both cases, we have a decent reversal pattern when we hit the highs. It is late in the day. That would have been a long time to wait for a trade. But those are your 2 patterns right there. Reversal pattern number 1, reversal pattern number 2. Working the highs, working the lows, fading the extremes. So for tomorrow, this is where I expected us. This is the entirety of the afternoon range. Consequent encroachment. That's the 50% of it. I was thinking we would work up into it and then maybe start pushing down here. That was my hypo for tomorrow's trading session, overnight trading session. See what ES did. I'll mark its range too. There's the entirety of the range. Consequent encroachment is right there. I'll just copy this one. No. There we go. And then just paste it right. Oh, I have to do it off a different candle. Paste it right there. There we go. There's the E of the afternoon range. So that's my hypo for tomorrow that we're going to start working into. I think we have more work to do down here. We got relative equal lows. I may be completely wrong. When we took out all those lows, that may be as low as we want to go for the week. I don't know. But I'm going to try my best not to have a bias so I don't miss obvious signals like Adam pointed out to me. And I'm just going to watch for those highs and lows to get taken and take a reversal trade. I think that'll be the best advice I could give you as well is watch for those. Get on a 4 hour, mark those out and just wait for one of them to get taken. Sometimes it's a long wait. This afternoon to get that high on the 4 hour, it took all freaking day. But once it got there, it was a moneymaker. What I've done is I've got an app on my phone. I've searched for several, but one of the stock things I used to use a lot was it's Moo actually. There may be others that do it, but the other ones I would put an alert in my phone. I would put an alert, a price alert, but it wouldn't notify me on my phone. It would only notify me in my computer. Well, if I'm away from my computer, I don't know it. Well, this Moo, you can put an alert on there and it'll actually ding on your phone. Ding. So like say you're waiting for price to get above this high right here and you're not going to take a trade until it does. You can put that price in on your phone or even a little bit lower than that. Like say it's at 94. If the price hits 90, 58, 90, ding on your phone and that alerts you, okay, I need to quit mowing grass or wake up from my nap and go look at this chart. And so that's a good way where you don't have to sit in front of the charts all day. You're not tempted to get into a trade that's maybe marginal. You wait until those highs or lows are taken, and then you can start looking for your reversal pattern. That saved me a lot of headache and eye strain sitting here staring at the computer all day long. Well, that's all I have for you. I sure hope you can use this information to help you trade better. Remember to be kind to yourself and remember to join that Facebook group. I'd love to have some conversations with you, either pre-market or post-market. We could talk about what's going on. And, like with Adam today, he really helped me see some things that I was blind to because of my bias. And I think having an extra set of eyes on the charts, it'll just help if we can develop a community of traders where we're corresponding with one another about what's going on, what we're seeing. Y'all might see something that I'm completely missing, and that's entirely possible because, like I've said before, I'm not a pro at this. I'm just an average guy trying to learn. Found ICT. I know one of his PD arrays, and it works for me, and that's the one I use. And he's got several. He could probably come in here and just clean house on everything that happened today, but I'm not that good yet. I have to look for one thing, and that one thing is profitable sometimes. So I'd love to have y'all as part of the chat group. I trade futures. Link in the description below. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, like the video. Remember to be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. I love each and every one of you. Until next time, trade well. Be patient. Wait for those highs and lows to get taken. Don't be a goofus like me. Y'all have a wonderful evening.